bitches.
You can call me the donkey of the day, but, like, I mean no harm.
Okay, man. All right. Okay, I'm ready. Salute to our guy Logic out there in Miami, 103.5 The Beat. We debating over text of who we think is in the Black Panther uniform at the end of the new trailer. But anyway, donkey of the day for Monday, August 25th goes to a former Mississippi police chief named Sam Dobbins and the entire police department in Kinley, North Carolina. Two different situations, okay? Same old BS. Let me tell you something. I run into great police officers all the time. Drop on the clues bombs for all the great police officers out there. So I don't like generalizing all police officers. I don't like generalizing all of anybody. But, man, I've told y'all this before, and I will say it again. When you have institutions that are rooted in racism, institutions that were literally built on systemic oppression, institutions that were designed to oppress like police departments were, it's very hard for any good cops to change a effed up system. Okay, we look at these institutions like the police and we say the system is broken, when the reality is, nope, they aren't broken. They are designed to do exactly what they are doing. Okay, and stories like Sam Robbins in Mississippi and the Kinley, North Carolina Police Department are two primary examples of that. See, Sam Dobbins is a former Mississippi police officer, and he was fired last week after audio surfaced allegedly of him using racist and homophobic slurs, telling one of his officers he wouldn't care if the officer killed a mother effer in cold blood. Okay? I don't even know why the media is still saying allegedly in this situation, and that's part of the privilege of being white because you get the benefit of the doubt even after it's been proven you're guilty. But yes, Sam bragged about killing people in cold blood, but that's not all he said. Let's go to WRAL.com for the report, please.
Terminate Chief Sam Dobbins from the position of Chief of Police with the City of Lexington.
The board made its decision just days after former Lexington police officer Robert Lee Hooker released an audio recording from April. He says the conversation is between him and Dobbins, who at the time was his police chief. Hooker accuses Dobbins of creating a stressful and toxic work environment. We obtained the audio. In the recording, Hooker says you can hear Dobbins using the N-word.
I got a big corn shootout, man, a cornfield over there. Jimmy Dale Thomas, he worked it. Justified, bro. I shot that 119 times. Okay? I don't give a if you kill a under cold blood.
Do it right.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yep.
I will articulate to fix the problems. And I'm the only man in the business here that's smart enough to do it, I promise.
But that's not all. Hooker says Dobbins also made negative comments towards the LGBTQ community.
I don't talk for years. I don't talk. I ain't got nothing for you.
Bragging about shooting an N-word 119 times. I don't know much about much, okay, but I don't think I know racism when I hear it, and that to me sounds a lot like racism. Now, speaking of racism, let's talk about the Kinley Police Department in North Carolina. Friendly Kinley is what they call that town, but there's nothing friendly about an entire police department, the whole police department, except for, I think, 3 people. Well, no, actually the whole police department quit in protest because the town hired a progressively responsible town manager who just happens to be a black woman. Let's go back to WRAL.com for the report, please.
Chief Josh Gibson at the helm of the force for 2 decades, one of 7 putting in a resignation letter. Gibson alluding to a hostile work environment since town manager Justine Jones was hired last month. Utility clerk Christy Thomas writes, due to the current situations and stress, I will not let myself be around that kind of atmosphere. Chief Josh Gibson says, due to a hostile work environment now present in the town of Kinley, I do not believe progress is possible. WRAL has learned Jones sued her previous employer, Richland County, South Carolina, for gender and racial discrimination after she was terminated in 2015. She alleges hostile treatment by county leaders and retaliation for reporting bad behavior. The lawsuit case was voluntarily dismissed.
Salute to the new Kinley town manager, Justine Jones, black woman. Dropping the clues bombs for her. Okay. What's sad about all of this is none of us should be surprised. Like I told y'all earlier, regardless of how many good cops you may know, because I know quite a few, it's a system rooted in racism. And being that it's rooted in racism, you will always have racists that gravitate to this line of work. I am a proud native of South Carolina, Moncks Corner, South Carolina to be exact. South Carolina is the place where in 1704, the origins of modern day policing were born. Okay, and they were called slave patrols. Their whole design was to empower the white population and police the movements of black people. Plenty of literature to read about this. What I would recommend is Slave Patrols, Law and Violence in the Virginia and Carolinas by Sally E. Haddon. That's the one you should read. And I promise you, when you read this and realize where these institutions like police departments come from, you will understand why we in the position we in now. And guess what? Some of them don't want to change. That's why when you put in a new manager, a black woman, Justine Jones, who's labeled as progressively responsible and who will come in and shake up the system, you cause a whole police department to quit. You know how nuts that is? The police chief said, I have put in my 2 weeks notice along with the whole police department because the new manager has created an environment where I do not feel we can perform our duties and services to the community. I guarantee it's an environment of checks and balances. It's an environment where someone is actually trying to come in and shake up the system of the police that was rooted in racism. And so being that you feel like you can't perform your duties and services to the community, you decide to just quit on the community altogether? Huh? That's your answer? Listen, systems don't change easily. Okay, systems try to maintain themselves and seek equilibrium. Okay, to change the system, you need to shake it up, disrupt the equilibrium. All right, that often requires conflict. Okay? And this is how you know we aren't really making progress, because progress is impossible without change. And those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. And these people who work for these systems don't want to change their minds about them because they don't think they're broken. Simply because they are working for the people they were designed to work for. Okay? Okay. Please give Mississippi Police Chief Sam Robbins and the entire police department in Kinley, North Carolina, the biggest hee-haw. Good riddance. You know, one got fired, whole police department quit. You don't need to be there.
I think it's only
Anyway.
six. I think it's 6 people that actually resigned. There's only 6 officers, I guess. Not too many people in that county. But what happens now?
I don't know, but it
polices the town?
still sounds crazy to say a whole police department
Just retired.
Like,
So what
come
happens
on.
now?
I don't know.
911, who comes?
This is a good opportunity to actually change the system, because now you can bring in a whole police department that actually cares. I don't know where you're going to find that in friendly Kinley, but maybe.
My goodness. All right. All right, well, thank you for that donkey of the day. Now, let's open up the phone lines. 800-585-1051. We told you during Front Page News about a pastor that was robbed live as he was giving his sermon, right? Yeah, you got that?
Oh, yeah, Bishop Lamar Whitehead in Brooklyn.
Now, what happened with him?
Well, he was doing his sermon, and some armed masked gunmen came in and robbed him while he was live streaming. And he said they did take $400,000 worth of jewelry from him and his wife.
All right, so we're opening up the phone lines, 800-585-1051. Now, when we reported this story, we got 2 sides. I mean, a lot of people were saying, why the hell was a pastor wearing $400,000 worth of jewelry in the middle of Brooklyn when a time where everybody's starving?
I agree.
That's what he gets. That's what people were saying. Hey,
I ain't saying that's what he gets, but he should. If you're gonna spend $400,000 in jewelry, how about spend $350 in jewelry and $50,000 in security, armed security?
That's
okay.
Some people were saying that. Some people were saying, hey, that's his right. If he worked hard for his money, he should be able to wear what he wants to wear. Let's talk about it. 800-585-1051 is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.